listening to Combat Sports UK.
Combat Sports UK.
Your opponent had Haider, mate. How do you rate him?
Rate him high level, you know what I mean? This is where we are at the moment in this top promotion. But at the same level, I feel like I always rise to the expectations of fighting. I think he's going to bring out the best in me, and I think I'm going to put him away in exceptional fashion. But no, he's highly touted. I think if you look at the records, it looks like a landslide, but when I'm actually in there, you're going to see that the skill match is actually one-sided, and it's my side.
That's what I was going to ask, is that he's been able to be a lot more active,
for sure,
definitely recently. But with that, you're coming from FAI, how does he stack up against who you've been training with, and is there anyone in particular you've been training with in this fight camp?
Yeah, well, years put in with the likes of Paddy McCrory and all coming out of Cage Warriors, Reece McKee, even Troy Gibson, a few other pros, my brother himself, like a high amateur, all 6'3", big tall men, long reach. So I've always been, it's almost like this fight's been tailor-made for me over the years. But no, he's a high opponent, but as you say, they're the layoff, coming through a number of injuries, just building those calluses in my mind. So yeah, I'm ready to go out here and do the work.
Brett, it has been a long time. Your fight last March was cancelled, the one before in April 23.
Cancelled also, yeah.
It was cancelled also,
yeah.
And then the last time was when you went the distance with Van Elliott.
Yeah, well, no, I was out in April, so I was just after that.
Yes. How does that time off, and then especially coming from having that fight with Van Elliott and seeing what he's doing now in his career, how does that develop you as a fighter? Yeah,
well, that loss is it's timed well, you know what I mean, over the time, but just you get the rub off these people. I went in week's notice against Eoin. We had a good back and forth fight. He was a very smart fighter in the way that he fought me. You can see the experience that came out of him. But no, definitely got the rub off him. And over the layoff, I was still training, getting ready for fights. It was just that I was so hard in preparation that maybe 3 weeks out, it always seemed to be 3 weeks out, I got injured. Broken ribs, tore shoulders, blue knees. And I just kept coming back, and then another little thing, another little obstacle would get in the way. But it was all for a reason. I'm here now, and to even still get the opportunity to have 2 years off and to still get the opportunity to be in the PFL shows the faith that my coaches have in me. And I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of me being able to bounce back as a man and come through those obstacles. And I can't wait to put it all on the show now, because I have been working my ass off.
Perfect, mate. Thank you.
That's no problem.
Was there ever a time when you were injured that you felt you wouldn't fight again, or did you always know you were going to return?
See, when I did the first knee injury, and it took 3 months to come back, and I got back to better than where I was. Chatting, I'm blessed. My father's a physio, so I went to him, and it's not like I want to get back to a normal person. I have to get back to the level to where I was, and also get better, because I'm obviously getting better in this sport. So when I got back from that, broke the ribs, was going to get another fight signed up, and then I blew the knee the second time. I was lying up again in the knee brace for another 10 weeks. And I was like, there's sad times where you're lying there and you're like, is this it? What am I doing this for? But you just have to truck through those. You got to be a tank rolling downhill and just keep trucking, and any obstacle in the way, just take it as it is. And I knew there was a reason just to stick it out, and here it is. And now I'm performing in Belfast. This has been my dream, lads. To drive past that stadium all the time. My missus is probably sick of me saying that someday I'm going to fight in there. Literally, she's probably sick of hearing it. But, you get goosebumps even thinking about it, but now I get to do it,
What was your emotions whenever you got offered the fight? Can you kind of talk us through that process? Were you just training one day and Pat and Shando says, look, you can fight in the SSE, or was there a sort of process where you had to work to try and get on this card?
I was supposed to fight in, was it March there? And about 3 weeks out, me and my brother, we were grappling, and he came out of position, and just the way his elbow, we were actually just grappling, not even hitting, it just concussed me. And my team pulled me from the fight. So I took a week off, and I was up in Donegal, and I was chilling out. I was almost a wee bit depressed. I was like, flip me, I've just blown another fight. What's going on here with all these injuries? And Pat texts me through the name, and he says that the PFL can't get this guy matched. What do you think of him? And I said yes before I even matched him, to be honest. I'm just here for a scrap, If I can't go against the best in the world and test my ability, then what am I doing this sport for,
Last one from me. obviously over 2 years out the cage, you're coming back, PFL debut, home city, you're fighting in the mecca of fight sports in Northern Ireland. Does that bring extra pressure for this fight back, or do you think it just adds excitement to it?
I just think it adds excitement for me. You know, I've never been one that's really caught under the pressure. Like I think I shine brighter the bigger the moment is. So I think this is just going to be the exact same when I get out there. I think you're going to be like, that's crazy that this man had 2 years off, loads of injuries, and he went in and did that to a 9-1 guy.
Nice one. Thank you, Sean.
Just no problem.
What do you think the reason is that you're getting this opportunity at this time, basically?
Bit of perseverance, showing up to the gym, like seeing what my coach has done. Also a bit of, you know, hanging off Paul's coattails, you know. I have to give the man the props, like. But I've been with Paul for so long now. Met him many years ago up at Donald McNally's gym, seen him boxing, and then he made the transition to Fight Academy from his small town, and I made mine the same, you know. And it just seems like we've all came together. But yeah, I just think it's divine timing in the sense that, as I said, all those injuries happened, and then the card came here, and you know I'm lucky enough to get on it. But yeah, I have to put it down to a bit of luck and a bit of perseverance through what the injuries were.
Now that you're here, are you someone that kind of feeds off that energy? Do you already feel the energy of what you can expect when you're fighting in your hometown, basically?
Yeah, well, you know, I know from here, like, and I'm sure if any's been to any events here, like, the crowd is crazy. You know, there's going to be 7,000 in there, but it's going to sound like there's 50,000 in there, let's be honest. And yeah, I'll feed off that energy for sure, you know, but I'll not let it overwhelm me.
Yeah, because you feel like it's kind of divine timing.
Yeah, it's divine timing, you know. It's going to be a madhouse in there, but I'm going to be a cool head in the hot kitchen, and I'm going to show the levels.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going?
Good, thank you. My first question is, your opponent, he's known for his explosive power.
Yeah.
So, like, how have you strategized to, like, deal with that in this coming bout?
Do you think he's got explosive power?
It was the arm break.
See, the arm break got everybody excited. It's got everybody excited, but if you watch that fight, the guy he's fighting, who was the favourite in that fight, which was amazing, I wasn't too impressed up until that point. I think that was just a freak accident. They happen in this sport over time. And I just think it was the way the guy, a bit of both, he down blocked in a strange way, and that guy threw the kick at the time, and I think it was just perfect timing in that sense. Watching all of his other fights, I don't see that he's got too much power. To be honest, I don't think he likes it on the feet too much, and I think after a short time you're going to see this guy diving at my feet.
Okay, that's a great answer.
No problem.
My second question for you is, now that you're in the PFL, you've got your first fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in any of the tournaments, but if you were to win this, is that what you'd be looking for, to get in one of the tournament brackets?
Potentially, you know, I'm just happy to be here, boys. You know what I mean? Like, I was sitting there a month or two ago, a couple of months ago, thinking, what's going on here in my career? Like, I'm injured left, right, and centre. So to be here in this promotion is amazing. I'll take this fight and then take one fight at a time. You know, I'm sure when Paul gets this win, they're going to try to get him back in Dubai. So I'd love to get over there and get that sorted. So.
Like how important these personal milestones and achievements are of like fighting in Belfast as compared to winning a title. Like how do you compare those right now?
Good question, actually. I'd say, to be honest, the belts don't really mean as much to me anymore. This is definitely more important than a belt right now. Now, is it more important than beating Usman or Magomedov? Probably not. But it is my dream to fight at home, and I will be achieving that dream on Saturday night.
Because those are the types of things that you look at, like when everything is all said and done. Like maybe this means more than that win. You know.
I don't know. I guess I can. They're about the same level. It doesn't get any better than both of them. Fighting in the SSE and beating Usman or Magomedov is definitely the two top things, alongside beating Bruno Miranda, of course.
Now we heard the crowd, like the Irish showed up over there. You know, when you fought Usman, like does that excite you now even more, like knowing that now you're in your hometown as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is just a small repayment to everyone that's been supporting me around the world. They don't have to travel quite as far this time, so yeah.
And like that performance that you put on, and like a lot of people thinking you won that fight as well. Do you feel like the love coming from other countries now, people, and the recognition coming your way a lot more?
Yeah,
How
absolutely.
has life changed?
Yeah, it's completely changed. The AJ fight, first of all, blew things up, and then the Usman fight just took it to the next level. So I'm definitely feeling the love around the world.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes, Paul. There's a lot of fighters, if they were in your position, they would have sat and waited on the rematch. I'm sure that was a possibility, but instead you're taking a very difficult fight against Bruno Miranda, who's maybe not got the same name value as Usman. Was there ever a moment where you sort of factored in the risk to reward of taking this fight?
All fights are risk in MMA. It doesn't matter who you're fighting. Could be a not in 20 guy. There is risk involved in every fight in MMA. But, you know, to achieve my dream of fighting at home in the SSE, I would have fought absolutely fucking anybody. So, yeah.
Content that went out with Carl Frampton was very good last week. I liked when he was showing you kind of the spots that he sold out, i.e. the SSE, Windsor Park, the Slipway at Titanic. And he's also spoke about how MMA is growing. Do you feel that within the span of your career, MMA can become big enough in this country to sell out the likes of Windsor Park and the Slipway at Titanic with you headlining?
Absolutely no question. I think that I could do it in the next 6 months. To be completely honest, if you give me that rematch against Usman in Dubai, I smash him, get the belt, and we do the trilogy back at home here. There's absolutely no question that that'll sell 23,000. No problem.
There's some fighters from this country that come along every so often and they sort of unite both sides of the community. You're definitely one of them. How important is it for you to do that?
I mean, it's a great honour, I guess. You know, I obviously don't decide these things. I think just thankfully people are taken to me. It's out of my control, but it definitely feels good. I feel very privileged to be in this position, for sure.
And last one from me. I've heard you mention that there's something you've been planning for years happening on Saturday night. Can you give any hints or any clues as to what it is?
Zero. Just tune in and find out.
Thank you, Paul.
My pleasure.
You started off your pro with a bit of a blip. Well, not so much a blip, for it was a phenomenal 3-round fight against another high-level opponent. You're fighting his teammate now in another fight. It's SPG versus FAI. Is that something that's played into the fight camp that you're keeping in your mind, that you're up against another gym that's seen as elite on the island?
No, I don't let that come into play too much. It's just another opponent. It could be from any gym. I take them all seriously. Mario was a tough fight, but I think that'll stand by me. And going into this fight and having 3 fights experienced, whereas Nahom's making his debut.
Yeah.
So he's going to experience a hard 3 fights against me.
Yeah. It was one of those fights you nearly need it. Win, lose or draw for your last 3 fights at amateur. You had left the cage with a belt over your shoulder, but it totaled like 4 minutes cage time.
Most of my finishes at amateur were all finished, or most of my wins were all finishes at amateur. Sorry.
So it's one of those things that it stood over that loss, that you're still here. You've got the call for PFL. You're fighting another high level opponent.
I still believe I beat Mario. It was a tough fight. It was very, very close, but I think I nicked that fight still. And I'm going to go out and beat Nahom here as well. So if Mario wants to fight again after, I'm looking forward to that too. I would definitely take that and like to get that win back against Mario. But being on PFL is a massive opportunity for me, and I'm just going to make the most of it here on Saturday night. Go out and show them that I belong on PFL stage, and I'm good enough to be here.
Is there anything about Nahom's game that you see as particularly interesting or threatening towards you? Because he hasn't been very active in the past few years.
He hasn't been active. He hasn't fought MMA, I think, in about 2 years now. So it's not too much. I'm just focusing on myself. I know if I do what I need to do, I'll get the job done. I mean, they're going to knock him out or beat him up for 15 minutes. And that's the plan. I'm going to get it done.
Okay, thank you.
Corey, you're from a similar part of the world to me, from Lambadi. I feel that MMA up our direction is kind of underrepresented and under-supported. You're going into the biggest fight of your career here. What message would you have for the people of Limavady and the surrounding area?
What they're saying is right, because like I've had to move to Belfast, you know, to get somewhere in the sport. Limavady has a couple of wee gyms here and there, but Derry, Evolve is probably the next best gym, and then Ballymena, next generation. That's where I started out. But as you progress in the game, you need to be moving to the better gyms where you're getting the better sparring, better coaching. All that plays a massive part.
There's kind of a correlation here. Paul Hughes made his pro debut in the SSE Arena. This is your second pro fight. What kind of advice has he been giving you on the lead up to this?
Paul gives advice every day in the gym, I think, without even realising, you know, just in his training. If he can benefit you, or if he can help you, like learn a technique, or if he can help you with your recovery, but no matter what it is, Paul's very, very good. Just basically says, remember who I am and remember how good I am, and go out here and show that, and don't be holding back. You know, not that I was going to hold back anyway, but I'm not going to go out hunting for the knockout this fight, because I believe last time that's what was leading for me to be took down in that smaller cage. So I'm going to have a much more mature performance this time, and walk him down, break him down over the course of 15 minutes.
Coming into this fight, you're the more experienced fighter, you're more active, you're in enemy territory, and you're facing an underdog. That's kind of a weird dynamic. Coming into a fight, usually the fighter being brought in is the one being brought in to face the music, whereas this is all up on its head. Do dynamics like that play into how you approach fight week, or your fight camp, or is it just strictly business?
Nah, strictly a business, to be honest, as usual. Like, I've not really looked into it at that, like coming into here being not from Belfast and being from here, it's not really played to the equation. I don't really look at the crowd when I come out, I don't really get engaged too much. I just plan on finishing him and moving on to the next fight. That's business as usual for me.
And there wouldn't really have been much room for you to do any sort of research on Sean. He's not been active the past couple of years. He's been sort of laid out with injuries. That he has that advantage of being able to watch your stuff, but you have the advantage.
He has those advantages of watching my stuff, but the surprising thing is I'm making leaps. I'm 25, so you can see me from starting my career. I went on through the more traditional route, going through the regional scene, winning a lot of fights, winning a title on a bigger stage, something that he's not done. He hasn't done the things that I've done. At the age of 25, he was 3-2. At the age of 25, I've won domestic titles, won in PFL in Dubai. I'm the bigger fish out of us two here. I'm the one with the bigger potential, so that's what I see it as.
Talked about your gym as well. Aspire is one of those gyms that puts out superstars only. The likes of Liam McGrillen, what he's faced in the past 2 years, is that someone that to have that sort of character in the gym, that he would have been a fight, you know, you've been through the training and stuff together, and then what he went through. How does having someone like that in your camp?
Yeah, so somebody like Liam is obviously a very big inspiration. Obviously, anybody that knows his story, I think a year and a half ago now, he got hit by a bus, and he's been making his way back, and even we just have him on the mats now. He's a great eye for MMA as well. He's got a great brain for it. I've worked with him a bit for this camp, so you should expect some hands coming his way, working with Liam and stuff.
Perfect, thank you.
Go ahead, yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, how you doing?
Assalamu alaikum, ya Rabbi.
I was going to ask you, as a British Pakistani fighter representing Manchester, how significant is this platform for you to showcase your skills and heritage?
Yeah, it's very big, because obviously most of the people that are behind me back home, I'm from a town called Oldham. There's a big Pakistani base, Manchester, there's a big Pakistani base, we're just outside there. And so it is a big part of my heritage, is representing them on the global scale as well, representing England as well. Obviously that's where I'm from, that's home as well for me.
Thank you very much.
You've got this kind of creative style that's very dangerous as well. When you're in training, do you actively try and build that style that sort of surprises your opponents?
Yeah, obviously I work a lot on the different aspects of martial arts. So I've got my boxing coach there at the back. I going in there 2-3 times a week, because I want to improve the hands and start putting out people cold on the floor. Like, you should expect that from this fight. Then we got my kicks. I'm working on my Thai non-stop twice a week there, and then I'm a BJJ black belt, so I'm dangerous everywhere in this game. That's what I mean with coming into this fight. Where does he see his strength being compared to me? I've stayed active, got a black belt, got titles on the domestic scene, won a lot of my fights at the age of 25. Whilst what's he been doing for 3 years? If you're saying he's injured, he's been inactive. He's not been getting those accolades, those skills, those rounds. So,
have you been asked to show that kick that won your last fight to anyone in the gym?
All the time, yeah, because I do throw my teep a bit different from other people, but a lot of the time we've got the little kids class coming on, and sometimes when they see them throwing a teep, one of the lads will grab me and just be like, oh, he's the one that broke the guy's arm with the leg, and yeah, so it's a bit of a funny little joke going in the gym.
How did you kind of deal with that? Went pretty viral, that clip after. How did you kind of deal with everything that came with that? Was it a bit surprising?
It was a bit of a weird one because I went to Saudi to boxing after it, and some guy was talking to me about it. Didn't notice it was me that he was talking to about it. He was like, "Oh, there's this British Pakistani lad. He's fighting in the PFL." And then I went, "Oh yeah, mate, it's me, you know." And then he was like, "Take the glasses off." So I guess I Clark Kented him a bit there, but yeah. So
cool. Thank you.
Oh, you're in a crazy run right now. You know, what does it take to stay composed and keep that going? Because you do seem to be very methodical with the way you go about your career.
that's just the way it's been, isn't it? Like I started off young in the game, like turned pro like 2021. It just kind of happens, and then I've been building up from there. But I've taken risky fights. I've taken fights probably that I shouldn't have. But now I'm grown in confidence, matured. I'm very big on my religion. That keeps me grounded. It keeps me comfortable in my mind, and it keeps me confident when I'm in there that no matter what happens, I'll find a way through it. Win, lose, or draw, I'm still just a normal man, you know, going through life.
Yeah, so that takes the pressure off for you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No, sweet, mate.
You've mentioned that your previous fight was just a glimpse of your capabilities in the cage. What can fans expect from you going in your next fight against Sean?
I think this time you're going to see complete MMA performance. You're going to see domination on the feet. When he gets to the ground, he's going to be suffocating and he's going to be asking me to tap him. That's what the damage I'm going to be landing on him. He's going to want to find a way out.
This is a showcase fight in the middleweight division. With everything going well, would you like to see yourself in one of the tournament brackets?
Yeah, again, I don't see the point if I'm winning this fight. I think I've already kind of proven to myself to be one of the best guys in Europe, so I would want to skip the European scene and just jump to the world tournament. At the end of the day, this career's short. I'd rather just gamble with it and just go for it all.
Well, we'd love to see you on the tournament. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Hi, mate.
How are we, mate?
So you robbed the bank. You won the title, PFL Europe. You were hoping on a Manchester event, and now you're here. Like, how do you feel about that?
Obviously, like, things happen for a reason and stuff like that, but I'm now co-main eventing here. Do you know what I mean? And I'm looking forward to this. I've never fought over here in Northern Ireland. The only time I've come here a numerous amount of times because I've got family over here and stuff like that. So I'm very familiar with Belfast and all the counties around here and stuff like that. So now I get to co-main event it and have a knock here, mate. I can't complain. Do you know what I mean? And I'm getting paid good, so it's one of them.
Yeah. Always putting on highlights. So it's kind of like collecting fans here and there, and then working up to the big one in Manchester.
100%, mate. You know what? When I've been here, like when I've not been fighting or like even cornering fights, people kind of know who I am anyway. Like a handful of people in Ireland and stuff like that. You'll say you're that ginger kid, aren't you, with the knockouts from Manchester? I'm like, aye, mate. You know what I mean? But we'll see how the crowd will be with this fight. At the end of the day, I assume they'll be backing their boy more. That's only right. End of the day, but it is what it is.
Yeah, to that point, you know, your opponent also has a big fan base in Australia, or like a big following in Australia, and those Australians were texting me and saying like, why are they feeding him to Lewis? And does it feel that way? Does it feel like he's being fed? Or how do you look at it?
I feel like he wanted to fight over here anyway, and he wanted to fight on like one of the organisations like the PFL and stuff like that. I've seen things anyway, saying things like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like it fell into his play where, oh, I'll take a gamble. Because he took many gambles in his career recently now, hasn't he? With like how his records kind of played out and how his careers kind of fell off and then come back up. It's like a yo-yo. Do you know what I mean? It's like my mood swings, mate. But do you know what it is with him, yeah? It's only right for him to take in a fight over here, but it's the opponent. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to say I'm the most dangerous guy he's ever fought. That's what I'm going to say at the end of the day.
Yeah. No, you're the up-and-comer technically in this sense, but you know, how much does experience play into that? Because he has a lot of experience, obviously. Like,
doesn't matter. He's got all the experience he wants, but he's never had the experience of getting hit by someone like me. At the end of the day, of all these fights he's had, Jeff, even when he was younger, for how the sport's evolved, and then you go to Australian MMA. No disrespect, like the regional scene, he hasn't really fought any great strikers I've seen. Like most guys he fight are just like mostly grappling based and stuff like that. And I feel like he says he can do this with his striking, but many have said it and many have failed, and it's just one of them.
2025 till the end of the year look for Lewis McGrillen?
I don't look too ahead in the future, to be fair. All I can say is I'm going to make a lot of money, which I'm buzzing with that, can't lie. But I just focus on Alan Philpott right now, and that's the goal at hand right in front of me. Saturday night, I fight Alan Philpott, and then we'll see get the ball rolling, see where we can get it cracking. Thank you.
Last time we seen you, you committed a legal bank robbery. Did you spend any of that money on anything nice?
Not major, you know. Nice little Amsterdam trip, do you know what I mean? I can't complain on that, but I've been fairly good, you know, mate. This is I'm just racking up my dough, mate, do you know what I mean? Now I've got a good contract with PFL. Going to make nice money and stuff like that. So all I'm doing, I'm pretty wise and just saving it and just seeing where it goes.
Nice. A lot of fans in the sort of UK and English MMA scene see the likes of you, Luke Riley, Dakota Dachiva as this sort of next wave of talent coming through. Do you feel any sort of added pressure being at the forefront of that?
Nah, I don't really care. Even with the crowd probably will be on Saturday night. I just don't care. Obviously, when I get in there, I don't feel anything. Like how I talk to you now, when as soon as I get a fight or as soon as I'm about to have a fight, I just change. I just change. I just turn stone cold. I don't feel anything. I just turn into something else. And it is what it is. End of the day, they can have pressure, but I feel like Alan Philpott's probably got pressure as well. It's a fight. End of the day, a lot's on the stake. End of the day, and it's co-main event and a great event in Ireland.
You've got something that some fighters have, and it's like a real special talent in your left hand. You've got that trick in your back pocket to pull out. I'm curious to know, in the lighter weight classes in MMA, do you think there's anyone that has a better left hand than you?
No, I can't. Get back to you when you find one, innit? Because I watch MMA left, right, and centre. I haven't really seen anyone from like bantamweight to flyweight who can punch like me or have got a left hand like me. Really, I feel like I'm probably the hardest hitting bantamweight in Europe or possibly in the world, especially at Southpaw. I agree. That's what I believe. That's what I know.
With that, do you feel any added pressure? They not just perform well, but they entertain. They make a statement because of kind of how your fights always go. They're always entertaining as hell. If you go out and you sort of cruise to a points decision win, are you happy with that, or do you feel that you have to go in there and knock the opponent out to create a bit of excitement?
No, not really, mate, because and then if you start forcing that and like your ego get in front of you saying, oh, I need to knock this guy out, I need to do this and that, then that's when you start to trip on your own wire a little bit, and then you start walking into clumsy shots, stupid mistakes in there and stuff like that. I'll just take it as it is. I never force it, me. Most time I've knocked people out, I've not even tried. I've just knocked them out. When you try and say, I'm going to knock this guy out, you don't knock him out. Like, it's just weird how that happens, so I don't force it. I let it come. It'll find me. I won't find the knockout. But if it goes to decision, I've got 3 rounds in the bank at my age. I'm learning and experienced and stuff like that. So that's all it is. I'll just take it as it comes.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Lewis, mate, there's not really much research needs to go in from an opponent's view, because it's like whenever you look at your record, it's strikes, left hook, left straight, knockout, TKO, strikes, left hook. It's just repeat on repeat. Do you think that's something that a lot of opponents look at you as a one-trick pony, but it's actually their downfall because they're over-anticipating that shot?
Definitely. I feel like a lot of people are a bit eager on that, but they can all say that all they want, because even like we say, oh, I've got to do this game plan, I've got to do that, but every time I hit someone, I see it in their body, I see it in their eyes, they look, I see the fear, I see like this, like God strikes to them in a way, and they're like, wow, what is that? And I'm just doing my thing. Like, they can say what they want, I don't care. I'm just doing what I'm going to do at the end of the day. And it's not, they think, oh, I've got to watch this coming at me. But it's the quest, how it gets to you. You don't understand. I'll snake charm you, I'll move around. You have no idea what I bring. I bring sequences people have not seen before, and I am Saturday. I bring a different ball, a different footy to the game, do you know what I mean? It's just, end of the day, I just keep doing my thing, and I will show.
Perfect. That was something that Alan actually touched on. One of the things he's done to sort of prepare over the last couple of years is that these are the next wave. These are these up-and-comings that like how much the sport has developed and moved on. That's been his game plan, to be training with people like yourself. They might not have the same left hand, but that same young, hungry fighter, that he's bringing his experience and pairing that with training with people who are same age, same, all that sort of stuff. Do you think that's any sort of recipe for success?
I think that's just a psychological thing for him to try and make himself feel comfortable. Like, oh, if I'm training with these guys and I'm doing well, that's all that is. But even these guys he's training with, they're not me. You know what I mean? That's all I like to say about that. No disrespect to any of the young guns, like stuff like that, who he's training with. But I'm like on a different wavelength to some of these young guys. And they've been blessed with these opportunities by working hard and stuff like that. I don't really care what he got to say. It's just with him, what I've noticed, it's all mental with him. He shares a motivational quote on his Instagram from it seems every day. And that's just a way to keep himself feel better about himself. Only right, because he's fighting co-main event in his hometown and he needs that.
So you don't feel any sort of any pressure that this is like a homecoming fight for him, that you're there to upset the whole thing? Because like you said yourself, you have family here. This is homecoming for you just as much as it is for anyone else, really.
I guess I think the pressure will be more on him, because if you look at how his career is kind of playing out a little bit and stuff like that, he's now got a pretty dangerous opponent in front of him or something like that, and the crowd possibly could be on his side more than mine. So I felt the pressure could get to him, the crowd could play a factor. These little mental things will all just chip at him out of the way. And before you know it, when you're in front of someone or around a bit of a knock and he's getting hit, you'll see where he could crumble in that.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey Lewis, I was in attendance for the last time you fought in Glasgow against Dean Garnett, which was seen by many as the fight of the year contender. After that fight, there was quite a bit of chaos in the crowd. Is that something that's usual for your fights, shall we say, or was it the particular matchup that drew that?
Well, was it Manx and Scousers? There you go. Do you know what I mean? I didn't really pay attention. I just got told after when I was at the bar having a drink and that. I was like, what, they were kicking off in the crowd as well? I was like, everyone loves a fight, don't they? I guess so. I bring chaos to fights. I'm just a bit of a madman, I guess, but I'm just doing my thing. You do your thing outside the cage. I'm not bothered. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and following up on that, you being quite a madman, how do you balance that intensity of being a fighter with your...
And in normal society?
Yes.
Oh, it's hard, mate. This is my therapy. I reckon if I didn't do this, I'd probably be sectioned or in jail for something. But it's just one of them, innit? End of the day, I just got to stay grounded. This keeps me very humble, keeps me grounded and stuff like that. And I just got to take it as it goes. I've got to grow up. That's what it is. That's what I've been doing. At my age now, I'm 24. I'm growing up. I'm shaping up. I'm turning into more of a man every day. And I'm going to say like I'm calming down, but I've still got that side of me, especially when I'm about to have a fight. I can feel it now. I can feel them little psycho killers, psycho thoughts just playing in my head. I'm like, can't wait to do this now. Do you know what I mean? But after I've had a fight, I'm back to me again. I'm normal. I'm happy.
And how do you see the fight ending on Saturday?
Knocking him out cold round one. Yeah, that's all I got to say about all that.
Simple as that?
Yeah, just simple as that. Yeah.
Thank you.
And always, mate.
Hey Lewis, how you doing?
Yeah. How are we, mate? You okay?
I'm good, thank you. So you fought main card Glasgow, co-main in Belfast. Where do you want to headline for your next fight?
Manchester! I want to headline Manchester, mate. I think it's only right, innit? We've got so many fighters, even like down the bill. There's a couple people from my gym fighting on the card, fighting out a Manchester top team. You're not even just people who could get the opportunity from Manchester top team to fight on PFL in Manchester, but there's also people like Dakota, Brendan. You could even, I'd say that. Like, it only makes sense, do you know what I mean? There's a couple Manx here and there you could get on the bill. It only makes sense that the talent that's coming out of Manchester right now, he's sick. That's all I've got to say, and we can show that. We can actually show that. It's only right. I heard they wanted to do an event in Liverpool. I was like, it's good to do one in Liverpool, but what about Manchester? It's only right, end of the day. Get me on the bill, them fighters, like I said, and you'll have a great crowd and a great event.
Thank you very much.
No worries, mate.
Question for me as well, because now you're the European champion. Before that, there was a lot of pressure, maybe, or expectation from people to, for you to win it. Does it take pressure off now that you've won it, basically, and saying like, I've already proved this now I can fight more freely?
You know what? Yeah, whatever you do in life, wherever you go, there's always someone who's got to say something in your Instagram comments in it. So it's just one of them. Just do your thing, and you know where the treachery is going and where your goal is and where you want to be. It's on me as well. End of the day, I can, like when I took an L in December, in 2023, you can shy away from it, or you can go towards it and bring it on and keep working hard. If you look at like how I fought in December that year until like December last year, how much the levels have gone and how much my physique's grown and stuff like that, I'm only getting better at the end of the day, and I can shut I'll shut people's mouths on the amount of people. Yeah, I've had people hating on me, and before you know it, you go, you know what, well done, and then before you know it, they become a bit of a fan. Like people slagging me off before the Dean Garnett fight. Now fans of mine, Luster, same again, and I'm just gonna do it this one. There's a lot of people from Australia trying to give me a little bit of abuse of Instagram comments, call me whatever they want, but when I knock their guy out, they'll be like, oh, he's alright, that ginger kid, innit? So that'll do.
That's right, thank you.
Thank you, mate. Is that all done, yeah?
I think you're good.
Thank you.
McGrillen's just beat a very tough veteran, so it's like, no, definitely it's a no-brainer. It's more freer than him, especially if you go off records. But no, records are for DJs, man. Like this doesn't matter. Like I'm coming in here the best version I've ever been in my whole life, like, and that's because of the platform, because of the opponent. No, I've got a point to prove more to myself than anybody. Like that's why I do this. You know what I mean? To challenge myself, to fight the best, and yeah, I know what I've got, and I'm ready to come and show it all on Saturday night.
And this really is a major homecoming. Like it was the Bama days.
Yeah, man.
We were last seeing you fighting regular, on the Irish scene. But we're now back, co-main event.
Yeah, sick.
In the capital city, all those things, back training with Rodney and that. Like, is it just everything sort of come full circle now that you get this win on Saturday night, and it's like another fresh go at your career?
Oh, definitely, bro. Like I didn't, to be honest, like I had my last fight and I won my knockout in Australia, and then I was going into that fight thinking, I've had a great career here, let's just go out on a high. And then I remember when I knocked him out, I was just like, fuck, I can't end now. Like I've got to get more. So I was like, right, one more, let's get the title at least. So my plan was to get the title and then call it a day. Lying in bed one day, just flicking through my messages, and then see Dan Hardy's name pop up. I was like, all right, so what's this? Clicked in, and then he's like, say, hey mate, anything lined up? And I was like, straight away, nah. I was thinking undercard in Dublin, like, because the previous, I actually got offered, whenever Wesley Maya fought McGrillen, I got offered that first, but I had a neck injury, and I was sick, and I couldn't take it, and I was devastated because I believed that I could have been the one to stop the hype train then. And then, from then, he excelled, I went a wee bit skiddy, and then I went on down the next messages, and Conor messing my manager, the same thing. Hey mate, you got anything? I got something spicy. So I was like, he called me then, and then he says, co-main event Belfast. And literally, as soon as he said that, McGrillen's name came into my head, and I goes, who? And he goes, Lewis McGrillen. And I was like, let's go, send me it. So I had to get the contract sorted, and here we are, man. And like I said, being able to fight here after so long, and which potentially could be my last fight in Belfast, because I don't know when the PFL are going to come back here. No, I am 32. I feel like I'm in the best years of my life, the peak years, but I'm not going to do this for 10 years more, do you know what I mean? A good 3 to 5 years to really putting it in at the top level, and I'm sure they plan to come back, but who knows what happens between now and then. So I'm just going to take it all, man, and like I say, be able to share this moment with Rodney, who was my first coach, my family, my town, like everybody, like even my old training partners, Andy Young, George Courtney, Jordan Mayers, they were coming back in, and to be able to just finish that last bit of camp with them, it's been amazing, man. It's like this, up until the fight, has been one of the best experiences of my life already. So whenever I get that win, it's just going to be the cherry on top.
Thank you.
Nice.
How's it been being back in Ballymena for fight week?
Man, it's been, like, every time I come home, I was like, fuck, it's always like, I can't wait to get back to Sydney, Bondi Beach, you know what I'm saying? It's a bit different than running up the Moat Hill to Bondi Beach, but it's been amazing, man. This is, honestly, like, I've had my striking coach, Johnny Barra Benavides. He's Chilean Swedish, and, they bring him into Ballymena, like, and just show him round, and, like, I'm walking up the town, and, like, I've got all these people just stopping me, wishing me good luck, and there's just a lot of good energy and a lot of good vibe. And Rodney was telling me, like, even the gym, like, it sort of goes on ups and downs, and like the energy in the gym is unbeatable, man. Honestly, it's been amazing.
Have you watched Lewis McGrillen versus Dean Garnett? And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that fight.
Yeah, like, Dean's my boy, do you know what I mean? Like, and the way Dean fought there, like, he just, he messed it up for himself there, because Dean's main weapon is his fight IQ and his strategy, and no, I think he underestimated Lewis a bit, and as soon as Lewis tagged him, it was like everything went out the window, and he started fighting Lewis's fight. No, and that's what the difference is with me. I'm not going to fall into his game and fight his fight.
What kind of statement do you want to make in front of your home crowd?
Look, I'm here just to prove that I belong here, show what I can truly do. I don't feel, which is mad to say, like I had the 55 fights between amateur and pro, and that's just MMA, not including all the other boxing and jiu-jitsu and whatnot. I don't feel I've ever shown my true capabilities. I've had good performances, and like that's been on the way to really show myself, but I feel like this is going to bring the best out of me. And like I say, this is what it's about. It's just proving to myself that I can do, when it matters, what I know I can do.
And what are parts of, like, when you watch that title fight against Usman? Were there things there that you saw that you thought, okay, I should be there. If I'm there, I know how to beat this guy?
Yeah, like for me, I'm just looking out for the fight with Paul. So after that, let's see what's happened. But now the only thing I have in my mind and plan is to beat Paul.
Have you watched Paul's fight with Usman? And if so, how did you score it? Who do you think won?
It was a very close fight. I think it was what it was, But very close fight, good fight.
You've been in Belfast for a few days now. What do you think of the sights and the city?
Man, I love the people. Being around here, everyone very friendly, supportive. Even I'm fighting an Irish guy, many people also support me, so it's pretty cool.
You fought all around the world. Does it feel good being able to fight in Belfast? I'm sure you've heard about the crowd and the atmosphere that it's going to be. Are you excited for that?
Very excited, man.
Thank you, Bruno.
Bruno, with a lot of the opinions sort of being put onto this fight have been that you're going into enemy territory, you're going somewhere where it's going to be a hostile crowd, and you've just said there that for those few days you've been in Belfast, everyone's lovely, everyone's polite. Is that something that is just, you can't factor in? I think sometimes you can be a bit romantic towards when you go somewhere like Ireland and everyone's so nice and polite, and it's like, but you're here to fight one of our guys in the capital city, in the biggest fight of his now career, going from that last fight. Is there any of those elements that play into how you feel fight week, that you're coming here to upset the crowd, upset a nation, upset?
Unfortunately,
all that sort of
I would
stuff?
need to upset the crowd. I would need to upset Paul in front of his crowd, but I feel like I got many people support me as well here. Not as much as him, because he's from here, but I got big support as well. But in the fight day, doesn't really matter. It's gonna be me and him there, right?
It's just all about when the cage door closes.
Right.
Perfect, thank you.
I was going to ask, do you feel that you are being underestimated going into this fight, as a lot of the talk's been about Paul and his rematch with Usman, that you've been slightly overlooked as the threat you are?
Yeah, I feel that a bit. Like, I never felt I was the favorite in any fight, to be honest. So yeah, I feel a bit, but let's see on Saturday night.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Someone didn't ask a question yet. Okay. Well, sounds like you feel comfortable being the underdog always. Like,
Yes.
Is that the case?
Yeah, the underdog is on top.
Yeah. Why does that give you any the confidence that it gives you?
Because I'm always like that, man. I'm like, since the beginning of my career, always like that. So it's my motivation, get challenged and get like people underestimating me, and that's what to keep me going,
If you manage to beat Paul, how do you make it up to the Irish crowd to get them on your side?
Let's have some Guinness together after the fight.
That's it. Thanks.
Any more questions?
Good.
All right.
Start. Making your PFL debut in the lightweight tournament, obviously in front of a home crowd. Can you tell us how this opportunity came about and your emotions whenever you got the text or the phone call to hear about it?
I was actually talking to Paul Fogarty at my own show, so I run a wee show up in Newry, and we were talking about the possibility of trying to get fighting on PFL, and I said, yeah, go on ahead, and then a couple of days later he got back to me with this offer, and it was one that you couldn't turn down. At that stage I didn't know it was in Belfast though, and then whenever I found out, it just made it all the better, so it did.
You've had some brilliant fights in Cage Warriors. Does this fight on Saturday, does it feel any different? Does it feel bigger? Would you say it's the biggest fight of your career?
It's probably the biggest opportunity of my career. I wouldn't say it'd be the biggest fight, but it'd be the biggest opportunity I've had. Obviously with the 100 grand at the end of the tournament, you know what it leads towards. Like,
when you look at the rest of the fighters in the tournament, is there anyone that sort of sticks out to you that you think, I think I could definitely get a win over them, or that you want to get a win over them?
Not really. No, they're all top fighters, so they are. Obviously, get Gino out of the way, and then we've seen now during the week the number 1 seed Conor, as he got to the final last year. So just looking forward to one by one taking them out.
That's me. Thank you, Decky.
Decky, I just want to talk to you about how you balance what you do with an MMA. You had said there about having your own promotion. You are fighting championships there in Newry, and being so heavily involved in coaching, like you guys have a real strong stable of lads out fighting every regional show that's going. How do you balance that with your own professional career?
This is my life. This is something I've done from as a child. I gave up everything whenever I was about 18 to make this my sort of life, and then just as it's going, you can cry about having too much on your plate, but this is the life that I've chose, that I wanted to do. So it'd be a lot worse if I didn't have anything to do. You know, if we didn't have the fighters out competing, if my show wasn't as successful as it was, and if I was only fighting locally, then it would be an awful lot harder to deal with.
So it's one of those things that it's not balance, it's just a full plate.
Yeah,
you're just happy to
that's it. We have a 9-month-old child there as well, on top of a 5-year-old as well. So it's a busy life, but it's enjoyable.
So it's sort of like a perfect time that Paul has had that conversation with you, and this has been on the table for PFL, that to get this win and start off in that win column with a big promotion, like that's a launching pad for your career. You sort of, not yet again, because you come off those wins in Cage Warriors, but it's the path is showing true now. Yeah,
that's it. Like, and it's sort of one of the ones that we trusted the process. Nothing's been given to me to get me here. This is all down to hard work and coming from a small town with a small team. This is Sebastian's first fighter that he's got from complete amateur to now onto the big stage. So I'm looking forward to them all coming behind me as well.
That's bound to mean so much, especially because you are so active here in the regional scene as a promoter and in the corner teams for your guys. Has any of them sort of had a word with you, who's been like what it means to them? Because like a lot of times the fighter get asked, what does it mean to them to be getting looked up at as the sort of captain of the gym, whereas has anybody actually came forward and says to you, like, look, this matters to us? Like,
not as much, no, but you can tell in the sort of the way they're going on. They haven't come up and said it to me. They'll probably end up slagging them. You know, like that's the way our team is. Like, we just give each other abuse. So they wouldn't come up and say it, but you can see by the way things are happening that this is a massive moment for our gym.
Yeah, perfect, mate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Decky, in the past couple of years, you've unfortunately had a lot of pullouts in your fights for one reason or another. Do you feel that now being in this tournament, that this is like the right opportunity to propel your career and get that string of wins and possibly win this tournament and get the credibility you feel you deserve?
100%, yeah. Like now it is, I found over this past couple of years, it's been an absolute nightmare matching me. So it has, I've always said yes to everyone, and for one reason or another, every fight's fallen through. You know, like, and then you get so far. Whereas now, there's 8 men in this tournament, and we're fighting for a big prize. So I doubt any one of us is gonna drop out at, you know, like for any small reason. So this is the platform that was needed for me.
And you've also fought in a lot of different promotions. How has the lead up to fighting on PFL been different to fighting in Cage Warriors or a different promotion?
It's similar enough. Obviously, there's a wee bit more media involved with PFL than Cage Warriors, but the photo shoots, the video shoots, all that sort of stuff is similar, especially with like making my name on Cage Warriors, being on the main cards and stuff. You do get the wee bit more hype, so it's not out of the ordinary for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Decky.
How's it going?
How do you visualise your performance going in this fight? And is there any specific way you plan on winning?
No, I'm looking forward to going out and having fun on Saturday night, so I am. This is there's levels to this game, and experience is going to talk, so it is on Saturday night.
Perfect. And what's something about you that the fans wouldn't expect outside of the cage or ring?
They wouldn't expect them at me. It's a good question, so it is.
Seems like your full life is revolved around fighting. Do you have anything outside of that?
No, I don't. I don't have time for anything else. So if I'm not in the gym, honestly, at this stage now, if I'm not in the gym, I'm at home with the kids, or then I'm at home planning the show whenever the kids go to bed, and then you get up and go train the next morning. So unfortunately, at this stage of my life, all it is fighting, and that used to be in the motorbikes, but they're too dangerous now at this stage.
Thank you.
Given Gio's background in fighting state, is there any specific areas you're focused on in training to kind of his approach, and do you anticipate any particular challenges?
No, I know he's a brilliant striker. Don't get me wrong. He's fought on Glory and stuff, but I've been doing different striking sports from I was 8 years old. So I doubt that he's going to be able to bring anything in one form of striking that's going to surprise me. I do know that that's his strength, and I do know he has weaknesses. So I'll be looking to exploit them, but I'll have no fear of going in and mixing it up, and I doubt that he's going to bring something to the table that I haven't seen before.
Have you thought about the prize money and how you'd spend it?
Prize money's long gone, so it is. I owe that money out at this stage. No, just as I said, for the family, don't like having something set in stone to keep the girls right. That's all I need it for, to keep me training, keep everything happy, and just take a load off the shoulders.
Do you think about going to the global stage after that? Have you thought that far already?
No, obviously it's something that it's stepping stones. Don't like you can see where winning the European tournament leads to, and that would obviously be massive for me, So obviously we want to make a good name for myself here on the European scene, and then yes, make it global.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just
anything different mentally or?
Yeah. I think I've just matured a lot. That obviously took the loss, but with that loss I've gained. You know what I mean? I do feel like I've gained a lot. The experience of it all, the literally having them there and then losing it. Tough one, but I'm definitely back a lot better, a lot smarter, a lot more mature, and a lot more clear in the head. I think I've grown, so I'm excited.
Do you think, looking at the level of competition now that Jakub is on the global stage, do you have mixed feelings about that? Because, if you end up winning the title, you're not taking it from him, or you don't get the chance to fight him for it. But at the same time, now you have a new set of opponents. That you can be.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, taking out Jakub would have been perfect.
Yeah.
But he's not here, and the show has to go on, doesn't it? So, I'm here to take everybody out. Half of them are going to disappear after Saturday night. I'm not too concerned about any of them. Right now, I'm just focused on me, and just focused on what I've got to do. Mate, at the end of the day, like I said, Jakub's not here. I'm coming for the belt, and this year I'll take it.
Gotta meet him at the global stage then.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that might work out perfect, to be honest, because he's out with injury at the minute, isn't he? Yeah, he's just had surgery on his foot.
Yeah.
So he's obviously probably going to go into the World League next year, which I will, winning this.
Yeah.
So I'll get him back then.
Love it. And do you ever look at your opponent's strengths beforehand, or do you just focus on yourself and what you can bring?
No, I definitely look at my opponents and look at what they do well. Look at little tendencies, little things that they kind of do automatically without them realising themselves. But I think there is a point where you can't focus too much on the opponents and you become obsessed with them. you know what I mean? Which I've probably done in the past. Whereas now I'm just, I know how good I am. Like, who done that to Jakob? Who's ever beat Jakob up like that? Nobody. I literally came so close to finishing. Just blew me low trying to kill him. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, lessons. I'm back better. I'm back a lot more grown and mature, and I can't wait to fight on Saturday.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Conor, Scousers and Liverpool always sort of have a special connection with the people over here.
Yeah.
Do you feel that fighting in Belfast?
Yeah, definitely. I've actually got Irish family as well, so I do feel it. I do feel we are so similar in a lot of ways, and I just hope on Saturday the crowd give me a good welcome. Like, as soon as they hear Liverpool, I reckon they will.
I'm sure they will. Tournament fighting, obviously, you done it last year. It's very different, fighting and then having your next fight scheduled. You know that you're going to have to fight 3 times within 7 months. Was there any lessons that you learned from doing that last year in terms of preparing your body to do that 3 times in 7 months? Was there any lessons you learned last year that you can kind of take into this tournament?
As like doing the tournament again,
Yeah,
like how like the activity.
As in preparing your body, obviously, is different. Good activity outside of a tournament is 3 times a year. You're fighting 3 times in 7 months. Is there any different things that you have to do?
I mean, obviously injuries and keeping the weight down is a big thing with that. But for me, mate, if you look across my professional career, I think it works out as I'm pretty much fighting every 3 months since I've turned pro. I've had a busy pro record. I've had a busy pro career. I've only been a pro for 3 years. I'm 10-2. Most people have 3 fights a year, you know what I mean? So, I'm active, mate. I want to be here. I don't really like sitting on the sideline. I want to be busy. I want to be fighting. This is how I make money. This is how I grow. This is how I get closer to being where I want to be. So, it can be tough. It's obviously tough on the body, but it's what I'm here for. I'm a fighter.
And just lastly, they kind of dial in, you've mentioned how close you came.
Yeah.
Was there any key lessons that you learned from that experience of becoming so close to getting your hand raised in the final?
Yeah, don't blow your load. No, just again, just smarter, just a lot more wise to. Don't get too excited. You know what I mean? Don't get just stay patient, basically. Don't get overzealous. Don't get too greedy. And I think that's what my problem was last year. Credit to Jakob. I mean, he came back from an absolute beating. You know what I mean? But lessons you'll see that I've improved with on Saturday anyway.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Just to follow up that, Conor, what keeps you grounded through the ups and downs?
Probably where I come from, mate. My family, like I've got a family full of martial artists. My granddad done it, my mum done it. They're all, you know what I mean, they've all competed globally and stuff in kickboxing. So just having them behind me and like growing up around them, they're all pretty humble themselves. They keep it grounded, and mate, they do me in. If I started getting my feet off the floor and that, they probably do me in. So at the end of the day, I'm just me. I'm not gonna act like anything. I'm not going to start talking shit to somebody just for the sake of getting things. I'm just not like that. I'm not that person. I'm a fighter. I'm here to fight. So, but at the same time, outside of this, I'm just Conor. You know what I mean? So I don't really keep the like I'm entitled and I'm better than anybody else. Like I'm better than my competition, but I'm just Conor.
Liverpool's a place full of characters. Do you have any inspirations inside or outside fighting that you draw from?
No, you know, no. Like, I just take, to be honest, I just take inspiration from people who work hard. Take inspiration of people who like pursue something bigger than themselves. You know what I mean? Like that's what I look up to. I don't just have role models. I just kind of respect anybody that's willing to put themselves out there and go against the odds, you know what I mean? So, just that really, just people who work hard, people who dedicate themselves to stuff. That's what inspires me anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, this fight on paper is sort of the only place where it looks evenly matched. These are 10-2, 10-3, but I was looking last night on Tapology. There's almost 600 votes on the poll. You're sitting 99%. The odds makers have you as the heavy favourite. What do you think it is about the opposition you have both faced that has it? These are sitting at the same record, but you're miles ahead.
I think this will be my 6th fight in the Smart Cage under the PFL banner. The level of competition I've fought is far better. Again, the activity, like 12 fights in 3 years. I've been busy. I know he's been busy himself, but you know, there's a couple of delays in terms of when he fights and stuff. I just think I've fought better. I think Jakob was undefeated last year. I fought in the tournament twice now. This will be my 3rd time. Just the experience I've gained, and I just don't believe the kid's on my level, to be honest. I think he's in for a shock on Saturday night.
So you don't even have to see the likes of polls or odds makers to see that, like, oh, happy days in my head here.
No.
You already have that.
No, that's all. That means nothing.
Hopefully, like Wade said there, having that Irish connect to Liverpool, you're coming out as the fan favourite almost.
Yeah.
Just by default with having that connection, so you have everything in your corner. Best skills for the weekend.
Thank you, my mate. Thank you. All good? Thank you, boys. Appreciate it.
So, as a former Irish national kickboxing champion, right, how has your striking background influenced your MMA career? Like, do you anticipate it playing a pivotal role in the next matchup? Sorry.
Yeah, well, look, I'm an amateur kickboxing champion in Ireland and also professional. So, I basically beat everyone in Ireland, and like even when I won the Irish title, that fella's gone on to win a world title, and I dropped him 3 times in the first round. So I'm not afraid of anyone on the feet. That being said, I think I'm 3 years purple belt now, due my brown belt very soon. So I'm well rounded in all areas of the game. I wouldn't just solely rely on kickboxing, but as to just answer your question, yeah, I'm well able for anyone on the feet.
And competing at the Odyssey in Belfast, what does it mean to you to fight in such a prominent venue, and how do you handle the pressure of performing on a significant stage, especially at home?
I think it's amazing, to be honest. SSE Arena, that and the Tree Arena has kind of been on my list for a long time now to fight there. So, like, getting the opportunity is obviously amazing, fighting in front of thousands upon thousands of people. And funny enough, like, I know this is going to sound crazy to all of you, but this is my first MMA fight in Ireland, which is crazy because I'm at the top level of it now, which is mad. So I've represented Ireland in the Europeans, the Worlds, the World Cup, but I've never got to fight in Ireland, and it was largely because people kept pulling out. Obviously, I've had kickboxing fights in Ireland, but in MMA, this is going to be a special one.
Last time we spoke, Eoin, it was before your PFL debut. You just mentioned it. You were
good to see you again, bro.
Good to see you, mate. You said you were the most avoided welterweight in Europe, having an absolute nightmare getting fights. What's it like being a bit more active? Are you happy now that you're under the PFL? Fights are coming a bit more consistently.
Yeah, all is good. I'm delighted now. Like, kind of, we're only saying, like, I had 9 opponents between July and December, the last fight. 9 different professionals all pulling out and not being able to fight for various reasons. So, like, you know, I've always just said yes to whoever it is. I've never had an easy fight. Sure, my first amateur MMA fight was against the Russian world champion, so you can imagine that in a little pen pal of a cage. 2 of us were glued together for 3 rounds. So, yeah, I've always had the hard road, and yeah, this is no different. My opponent's very strong, good lad, and I look forward to a good battle.
Done a bit of research last time round and figured out that you, alongside Trey Waters in the UFC, are the 2 tallest pro welterweights in MMA. Malachi is 6'4". You've only got a 1 inch height advantage this time. Does that change the fight stylistically or your
they're
preparation?
Getting taller, bud. They're getting taller. Yeah, do you know? But even when you were telling me that the last time, I thought I was the only one. But there you go. The good thing is, if I'm taking them off now, they have to get smaller. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully the next fella's about 5'10", so I can mince him.
Finally, for me, have you any words on the Irish MMA scene right now? It's absolutely booming.
I was actually only speaking about this there a couple of days ago. There's a serious level of talent all across Ireland, all different weight classes. You know, even like my former wrestling coach, well, he still is a bit Sergey, but he has his own gym and all. He has his own stable of fighters. Some great lads coming up there. You know, you've got loads of lads at my gym, like all different age groups. like doing very well in the IMAFs, doing well at pro. We're all like winning in different organisations. Even Will Fleury there, cornering me this Saturday night. He's a 2-time champion in Octagon now, heavyweight and light heavyweight. He's done that in 9 weeks. So it just goes to show like the level that we're getting to compete against every day, and yeah, that just makes me better every single day. I'm going with the likes of Carl Moore, Will Fleury, and big tanks, and they're throwing me around, but it's making me better. So that's the main thing.
That's me. Thank you.
Eoin, you're entering this fight with a perfect 2-0 record. Facing Malachi Edwards, a prospect from Manchester top team, how do you see your skill set matching up against him, and what can the fans expect to see from this matchup?
Yeah, look, it's a very good fight. I think it's probably one of the best, or hopefully will be one of the best fights in the card. You know, 2 dangerous fighters, 2 tall, rangy lads, and both have power. We can both fight. We both shown that we're not just strikers either. We can wrestle, we can grapple, and yeah, it's an exciting fight. Malachi is a good record there, some good finishes as well. So I'll definitely be switched on in there, and but I can assure you he'll have to be switched on with me too.
And his last fight was flagged by Tapology for being a potential mismatch or padding his record. Have you seen this, and have you got any thoughts on that?
I don't have any thoughts on that. I thought someone said that to me. I don't really think too much into that stuff. I just know everyone I fought has been an absolute killer. Do you know what I mean? So nobody will ever say that about me.
Thank you. One of the last times you almost had a run out was over in Manchester with Philpott SFC.
Yeah.
If I remember right, you didn't realise your fight fell out until you got there, so you got there and you didn't have a fight. Malachi was actually at that event, and his gym was well represented on the night. Did you have a chance during that, or was it somebody that was in your scope as somebody that may be an opponent with being in the same weight division? Did you get a chance to size him up at that event? I was due to fight in the APFC, and like obviously Anthony Pettis is my manager, so you know they flew me over. I kind of wanted to go and kind of like get chatting to the lads anyway, because obviously they're all based in America, so it was good to go over and spend a bit of time with them. Obviously my teammate Matisse, also PFL, was fighting that night as well, so I was cornering him too. I was obviously fecking fuming that I wasn't fighting because I lost 5 kilo or 6 kilo in weight. I was starving myself for that, and went over. Obviously the fella wasn't there, but I still was. But I didn't really get to see my opponent's fight that night because I was helping with Matisse in the back, whatever. But like I know Malachi from a small bit from Thailand and stuff. Like he's a cool lad. So yeah, look, I have respect for him, and I think he's a good fighter, and I look forward to putting on a show. And that's on there, it's gone. Never mind.
So we don't have to start all over again.
No.
Can't say all that again.
For those who don't know you, why should they tune into you, and why should they follow your career?
Good question. I think I bring a lot of tools. Do you know what I mean? As I said, I'm a Irish kickboxing champion, undefeated in kickboxing. I've got the IMAF World Silver Medal, you know, in the Worlds, and I'm well rounded in the cage. I'm gonna, as I said, I try and inflict as much damage as I possibly can on my opponent in this time I have to do it. Whatever route that is, whether it's on the feet or on the floor. So yeah, I'm gonna be pushing hard, and definitely for this fight I put myself in some terrible positions against let's just say a couple of lads. So yeah, I feel that I'm much better prepared for this fight, even than my last PFL fight, which was pretty decisive as well.
And was that like seeing the likes of having so many teammates matched on, especially like the young Nate Kelly?
Yeah.
Getting those opportunities just over a year ago.
Yeah, I felt like I was gonna get this. I felt like I was gonna get this opportunity anyway. I am that good.
So it's just a matter of just like
a matter of just getting here and
like
showing.
And until it happens,
Yes.
we'll see what we can pull off. Because obviously you almost had that boxing match with
Gabriel Silva.
Silva, and it never happened. But it's one of those things. in Ireland,
Who sent this fella here?
No, it was one of those things where like Ireland, it was just
It's
like
definitely that accent as well, isn't it?
we were all
Corey's uncle out here.
No, I thought we were all chomping at the bit to see you fight. We're all like, because like.
Yeah, it's gonna happen on Saturday, bro. Let's not talk about the past. So it's gonna happen on Saturday. I'm ready for this. Corey's ready. I hope he is. I wanted to start in the great league, which is PFL. I call it the Premier League. Here we are. It took a long while to get here. I'm happy I'm here now. Thank you. Next question. Let's go, bro.
You mentioned in the podcast that your teammate Mario has fought Corey before and beat him. How's that helped you game plan for this fight? And is it
I realised he was shit. Mario was very good. But yeah, man, not my level.
On your bio, it states that you're a PFL ex-Misfits boxer.
Yeah.
Is that still ongoing? Are you still looking to compete in boxing as well as in the PFL?
I do what I want on my bio, bro.
Just to follow up on that, if you were to fight anyone on the Misfit show, who would you want to fight?
Gabriel again.
Thank you.
You mentioned in the podcast that you're coming in and Corey's the home fighter.
Yeah.
Do you still feel supported? Obviously, you're only 2 hours down the road, so you're still kind of a home fighter yourself.
I am a home fighter, yes, from Ireland and Eritrea. So yeah.
Do you feel that the crowd will be on your side or Corey's side walking in
Corey's
there?
side. He's a local fighter, but I'm a continental currency. Difference.
And these days, in today's world, building the brand around yourself is nearly as important as the fight game in terms of getting recognition. What kind of advice would you have on that? You're very active on social media, doing different things.
Not really that active, am I? Come on. I'm
Active
just a good
enough.
fighter. I'm a good fighter.
That's me.
That's everybody, is it?
So, I've just one wee quick question.
Go on.
Representing Eritrea by defending out of Ireland.
Yeah.
What is your multicultural background influence your fighting style and approach to competition?
Passion. I have the passion for this. No matter what, I'm going to grit through anything. And I have the goddamn skills as well, so it is what it is. Good question, bro. That's the best question I've got asked today.
How do you feel that continental currency is going to go on the market after Saturday?
I guess we're going to see, bro.
What would you tell people who don't know you? Like, how would you sell
They
them
know
basically
me.
on yourself?
They know me. It's a fact. Who doesn't know me here that's coming PFL?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was going to ask that.
I'm cutting weight as well, guys, so it's just a little bit hectic, yeah? Just need to get the questions going.
You're quite, brash. You like to say what you want. You act how you want.
I'm just out straight, bro. Sheridan out the back, he's the same. Shane out there is the same.
Isn't I trying to win well, lads?
So when you do go out, and you must get, a lot of heat, a lot of haters.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it? Is that what fuels you?
I don't care. Just have my boys with me, my family. That's all that matters. My coaches. That's all that is.
Thank you very much.
All good?
That's us.
All good.
Thank you, the boys.
Nice one.
You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
Combat Sports UK.